Hi, I'm Rachel, owner of Lane Essentials. I own a candle company, and I wanted to talk to you if you are thinking about starting a candle business or if you are new in the candle business. Sit back. This conversation is for you. I wrote some notes. I'm about 5 years in the candle business, and I think my honest notes, will be very helpful for you as you start your journey in being a candle maker and owning a candle business. So the first one I have is it's not easy, okay? It's not easy, and it's expensive. So I see videos all the time that say you can start almost nothing. No, no. This is very expensive because you need a lot of materials, okay? So in the beginning, you need to test candles. You gotta learn how to make it. Start with a candle kit. Figure out if this is something you like. Assuming it is something you like, you're still gonna need a lot of materials. You have to find the right wax. You have to find the right wick. You have to find the right fragrance oil. And just because a fragrance oil smells good for you doesn't mean it's going to give you a punch as far as a good aroma for the candle. So that does take some money. So take that into consideration when you start your candle business. Also, it's the science of making a good candle. You want to produce a candle that is safe. Candle making is a science. So you don't want to rush so fast. The candle looks good, somebody buys it, and the candle is a fire hazard. So make sure you're doing things right. And I want to let you know it's not easy, it's tough. But that brings me to number two. I think it's worth the while. Making candles, at least for me and a lot of other candle makers, is very therapeutic. And it also is, if you're the creative type, to see that creation is very fulfilling. So I think it's worth it. You will hear people say it's oversaturated. It's not in my opinion, but I don't think anything is oversaturated. If it's for you, it's for you. If you work hard enough, you can move in places people aren't. So I don't believe in that anyway. So it's not oversaturated. It's hard work, expensive, but I do think it's worthwhile to get started with it. Third, if I had the chance to do it all over again, I would worry about making a good candle. Of course, that's important. That's important. But I would spend 50% of my time manufacturing, creating a safe candle, 50% of my time worried about marketing and branding. Branding and marketing is just as important if you want it to be successful. I wish I would have known that because I'm still in the catch-up game for that, okay? You can make a good candle. You can make a candle that'll light up your whole house with good fragrance. But guess what? If you don't market it well, if it doesn't look good, if the presentation is not good, no one's going to see it, okay? So you won't be in business for long. So start thinking about that earlier than I did. Start thinking about that and working on that from the beginning. It's going to take time finding materials, the packaging, your logo, your stickers. Everything is going to take time and it has to look good. So start thinking about that at the same time. In my opinion, 50-50. I would rather you go slower doing it 50-50 and move them along together. So when you finally have your perfect candle, you also have your perfect packaging, and boom, okay? Don't do like me. Like I said, I had to catch up to that. Fourth, vendor events. So here's my take on vendor events. I think they're super important. I think they're very important because it allows people to get a chance to meet you. It allows you to introduce yourself to people and let them get to know your products. If you're not a talker also, it gives you that experience of selling your product, which is good. But be smart about it. So when most of the vendor events you have to pay for. You want to ask the right questions to see if you can make the money back and if you can make some money for that vendor event, okay? So you have to ask the question. You'll get, oh, come to my vendor event. It's $100. And you may not even make $100 at that vendor event. So be careful because it's very time consuming. It's hard on your body. You got to lug all that equipment and products there. You got to lug it all back. It's hard on the body. So just make sure it's worth it. I think in the beginning, you definitely need to do vendor events to help make some money, because you do need to recoup some of the money that you lost in the beginning from all the testing you did. So it gives you a chance to recoup the money too. But as you move on, get smarter about the vendor events that you choose to participate in, okay? So that's number 4. Number 5, filing your business. What I mean is legally filing it. So people may disagree with me, but I'm going to say that does not need to be, becoming an LLC does not need to be your first focus. For one, it's expensive. And once you do it, you got to keep it up yearly in most states, okay? So if this is all new to you, take that stressor off you. Don't worry about that. Just worry about producing a good candle. You can still sell your stuff under you, okay? Not saying never do it. You can do it. But what I'm saying is you don't need to get the expense of doing it and the worry of doing it right from the start, okay? That shouldn't be your number 1 on the list, okay? Number 6, no need to start big and get overwhelmed. I mean, if you have 3 or 4 fragrances that's a hit, start with that and build as you go, okay? And use the same skills when you're thinking about what vessel you're going to use. Just think about it first before you execute, because you don't want to come up with a line and then 6 months later saying you want to rebrand. You don't want to do it. So think about all that in the beginning. Also, when you're testing your candles, test them in a closed area, like a bathroom. Close the door. If you can test it in large spaces like living rooms, but you really won't get the impact of how good that candle is in the beginning. So in the beginning, when you're starting to test that candle, a new scent, you want to test it, you may test it in an open area and say this is a dud. It's really not a dud though. So I suggest you test it first in a closed room that you have and see if it's good enough, okay? If it's good enough, take it further, but let that be your baseline first, okay? Number 7, give your candle away. Give it away to whoever you need to give it to, but only give it away to people who promises to give you feedback, okay? Because that's what you need. You need people who will give you an honest feedback in your candle. Hey, this candle's bad, or this candle is really good, okay? So people would take the candle, your family, your friends. If they're trying to be nice, don't get them the candle. Give it to the ones that promise to give you an honest feedback. That's what you need. You don't need people to lie to you. You don't need people to be nice to you. This is the time you got to toughen up. Take the medicine so you'll get better at it, okay? And you won't regret it. But you will need, before you really start, you're going to give away a lot of free candles. That's another reason why it's really not cheap to start a candle business, okay? Number 8, aesthetics. This is piggybacking on what I talked to you about before. Your candle has to be good. It has to look good. Your label, your boxes, your social media posts, everything has to look good, okay? So spend the time with that. That's why I say start it. When you start the candle, start thinking about that also. So you can get it out once you get a good candle and you're not trying to play catch up. Okay, that's number 8. Number 9 is watch your pricing. Okay, so if people can go to Bath and Body Works and get a candle for $5, let them do that. Find your niche, find your customer, and stick to it, okay? Wax is not cheap. Wax is very expensive. Delivery is expensive. Your vessels is expensive. Your supplies is expensive. So you have to make sure you make enough money to have a profit, okay? Don't worry about my candle is too expensive. Worry about being able to make a profit with your candle. What good is it to do all of this, sell candles, and you make 25 cents a candle? That doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make business sense at all. So make sure your cost of goods is good. Your pricing is good. Make sure of that, okay? Your candle cost is your candle cost. You may have a more expensive wax that you use is your main wax than someone that could use a cheap paraffin wax. That's why at the dollar store they have candles. At Yankee Candles they have candles. I guarantee it's different wax they use for both, okay? So watch your pricing because you are in this to make a living, right? So watch your pricing. It's very important. Number 10 and lastly is don't jump in 100%. I said it. I won't take it back. All right. What I mean by that is if you have a full-time job, don't be so quick to quit it, okay? Get this business off the ground, okay? Don't put another pressure, financial pressure on yourself and quit this job. I don't care what nobody tell you, okay? Don't do it. Build your candle business first before you even consider quitting your job that's paying the bills, okay? Don't make the mistake of jumping in 100% in that sense and quitting your job. Doesn't mean you don't believe in yourself. Doesn't mean you don't believe in your business. It's not what I'm saying. We're living in 2024. Realistically speaking, things are hard. Don't just jump like that and make that commitment into the business and you don't have a parachute. Keep your job until you are very comfortable. Your business is sustaining itself. Your business is scaling. You feel comfortable over a few years. Okay, now I can pull the plug, okay? But be careful not to just jump with that. Even if you go viral, you can go viral, right? And you get so many sales, you have to ask your family to help you, which is perfect. This is good. Keep in mind though, it'll go this way and then it'll come this way, okay? And then certain times a year, candle business everywhere slows down, all right? That's why a lot of people have candles and more. I have candles and more. I do body butters, body oils, wax melts. I do more because the candle people get candles a lot in the fall. They stock up. Around the summertime, it goes really down, all right? So plan accordingly. So I hope this information was helpful to you. It was actual. I tried to keep it as realistic as possible. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or shoot a comment below. It was wonderful talking to you, and I wish you much success in your candle business. You guys take care.